There we go. Okay, hello. I think I'm the only one watching. Lately, I've been the only one watching for the past few ones. Oh, well. Well, yeah. I feel sad watching my own stream. Yeah, it's through the previewer, but still. Oh, well. Not really that I can do it. The rest of the origami and the, whatchamacallit? Webcam! That's what you call. Oh my fucking god, I feel stupid. They shipped. So yay! Hopefully by next week, sometime next week, I'll get it. I'll be so pissed if I run out of origami and then the next day it arrives. That would be like, Actually, no, they're not. They haven't shipped yet technically. But they're preparing to ship, so they will ship soon. Hopefully. I don't know. Depends on how the people who sell the stuff on Amazon work. I don't know how it'll go. Hopefully, it'll go well for me. And I will be happy, and everything will be hunky-dory. Okay! All that aside... What to talk about? Well, let's start with something... Let's start with the meeting between Prime Minister Abe and President Trump. God, it feels weird saying that. I hope he doesn't actually, like... Trump has had some authoritarian tendencies. I hope that doesn't get too far ahead. Anyway, all that stuff aside, that's a discussion for later in this. Trump has had a meeting with Prime Minister Abe. What the fuck was I about to say? President Abe? Jesus. So, in it, to quote Asahi, which I view as much more reliable than most American news outlets, Trump says America is committed to the U.S.-Japan security treaty. So, or at least the article itself says, is the headline, Trump says U.S. committed to Japan security, which I view as a positive development. But Trump apparently is saying that security of Japan is a priority for the United States, which I believe is good. Let's see if there's actually a quote in this. Here it is. We are committed to the security of Japan and all areas under its administrative control and to further strengthening our very crucial alliance, Trump said. The bond between our two nations and the friendship between our two peoples runs very, very deep. This administration is committed to bringing these ties even closer. Which is good. Now that Trump seems to have taken a complete 180 on his rhetoric on Japan, let's see if he will stick with that. Because there's been a lot of times that he's said one thing and then gone ahead and done something completely fucking different. So yeah. At least he's acknowledged the value of the US-Japan alliance. Now the question is, will he stick with that? That is anyone's guess. Hello there, Gabriel! I was just talking about the meeting that Abe had with Trump. Oh, aside from the actual stuff that Trump said in the meeting, apparently a GIF, or is it GIF? I don't know. I don't really give a shit. Is going around where Abe and Trump have an awkward handshake. Which I am going to look for right now because I have no idea what they mean by awkward handshake. Oh my god. You know, I love how, when I put in, like, my, the search bar on, Waterfox, or Firefox if you guys, I put in Abe Trump, and the first suggestion was Abe Trump handshake. Apparently, let's see. How has this gone? 18-second long handshake. That's actually not unusual for diplomatic meetings between politicians. And the video is not loading. Is there a GIF of it instead of a video? Wow, this is So Trump has said things on the US-Japan alliance. Let's just hope he actually keeps it. I hope that handshake is not a sign. Why the hell is my goddamn web browser so fucking laggy? Oh my god, the sound! Turn off the sound. I'm just gonna look at a handshake. I don't need the sound of the cameras going. Yeah, I found this thing. Okay. Okay, I can see that. I'm watching a video of it right now on Yahoo. Oh. Oh my. I can tell that Abe was just the whole I love the end of it where Abe's just like, "Oh my god." I think that's not. I don't know if that's an indication, but like the mood I get from that clip is that it was the mood I get from that clip is just that Trump, his showman side was getting out. He wanted to make a show of things, and Prime Minister Abe was sitting. He rolled his eyes at the end, and I think Prime Minister Abe was like, "They're here for serious business, and you want to make this a fucking show?" Yeah, that's the mood I get from Abe's reaction. Which, not really unreasonable. In Japan, they take things very seriously, especially when it comes to politics. So yeah, to try and like deliberately make a show out of it from a Japanese perspective, because it felt like Trump was artificially making it longer, just to give the cameras a longer chance to snap photos. And if that's actually what he was doing, I don't know if that's what he was doing, but that's what it looked like to me. And if that's actually what he was doing, that will not be well received by Abe. Because what Abe is probably thinking is, I want to do this fucking meeting, now get on with the damn thing. Okay. 1. Japan is more professional than the U.S. No, I would say both countries are equally professional. It's just the way it's expressed is different. Also in Japan, like, you have very strict rules for interactions. And in America, those rules are like, I don't know if they're not as strict or if like people just don't give a shit. It's just the way business is done in Japan is very different from the way business is done in America. So I think like to say one is more professional than the other is to kind of ignore the differences that the two countries have culturally. America needs some. Yeah, there are some things that I think America could learn from Japan, but there's also some things that I think Japan could learn from America. It goes both ways. No country is perfect. Some countries might be more, in my opinion, flawed than others, but no country is 100% perfect. Okay, Gabriel, I'll say this right now, that some of those strict rules that you seem to think should be brought to America, not all of them are, yeah. It's good that Japan has rules, strict rules on the way you're supposed to interact with customers and stuff. I mean, if you've had experience with Japanese customer service, it's like a completely different world there. Like, holy shit. People in America complain about bad customer service a lot. Like, from a Japanese perspective, what? You're paying for the good customer service when you buy the product. That's the Japanese perspective. Also, there was an interview. I can't remember where I saw it, but I saw an interview somewhere. A Japanese businessman was saying that the Japanese model was basically returning customers. Like I think 80% of the profits are come from 20% of the customers or something like that. In other words, returning customers are where most of the profits come from. It's like the 80/20 rule is used in a lot of places, but in Japan it's applied to business, which I think is very good because it means they want to give the best customer service so that you come back to them many, many, many times over. So, yeah. Well, setting aside Japanese hospitality and all that, that kind of like took a turn. It's not good or bad the turn it took, but whatever. Trump considers writing brand new immigration order. Okay, so this is one of those headlines that probably will show up in my news feed, but not really anyone else's news feed. You may have seen it though. I'm not sure. Supposedly, when it comes to Donald Trump's, the immigration order, supposedly around Monday or Tuesday, Trump is gonna make a new immigration order. What that order is gonna be, I have no fucking idea. Will it be challenged in court? Probably. Will I agree with the challenge in court? Depends on what the executive order says. From what I understand, though, it could be in response to the fact that it's being sued and his lawyers are not being able to, defend it very well. Can I just add right now? I've said this before, I think, but I'm just gonna add right now and emphasize that I find Trump's legal arguments for defending his immigration order rather disturbing. I mean, his whole argument was that the courts shouldn't question the president's executive order. I don't even think Obama did that. I think what Obama did when he was president was he tried to, explain why it was legal. But wow. So yeah, I hope you can see why the courts don't buy the entire argument that the courts shouldn't be reviewing the executive order on immigration. The courts should review it, and I don't think that the executive order Trump originally made was legal. He probably could have carefully crafted it to be legal somehow later on, but he didn't. So what will this other executive order be? I have no fucking idea. We'll have to wait and see. Number 2. Say hello to Crystal Pepsi. Buy it. It's good. What? No should question Donald Trump, period. Because piss him off and shit is going to fly. Hello! Yeah, questioning Donald Trump is gonna... He's gonna get pissed off. He gets angry when anyone questions him. He's lashed out at Republicans. Not many people attack people in their own party. Although, sometimes they do, and I like the politicians that do. But yeah, not many well, usually I like the politicians that criticize people in their own party. But in Trump's case, I don't. Criticizing people in your own party is good, but the reasons that Trump criticizes them. The reasons that Trump criticizes his own party is just completely fucking ridiculous. I have more respect for people like John McCain than I do for Trump. Me and John McCain don't see eye to eye on a lot of issues. But John McCain is willing to stand up to Trump, and that alone earns my respect. Earns him my respect. Now, I know I probably just pissed off a lot of hardcore Democrats in saying that, but I feel I've said this many times before, and I'll say it again. I feel I gotta give credit where credit's due. John McCain is willing to speak his mind and stand up for what he believes in. Whether you agree with what he believes in or not, I believe being able to stand up for what you believe in is a good quality. Hillary Clinton. Clinton is... My opinion on Clinton is... how should I word this? I don't know how to word it. And yes, Clinton is the reason Democrats lost the election, but there's actually it's more than just it was Hillary Clinton. Although I will say this, Democrats picked the worst candidate they could have for the election. Honestly. I wished Biden ran. Oh my god. I still like Biden. I still like Biden. Unfortunately, I think I think this election may have been his last chance to run for the presidency. I hope it wasn't, but he's getting old enough. Yeah. This is just a random thought that went in my head. You wish the Death Note actually worked. Let's not get into that. Let's not get into Death Note. I'm sorry, but as much as I can see why people are tempted to do stuff like that, I don't think saying things, even implying things like that is healthy to our democracy. Now, maybe if Trump ever became a dictator, my opinion on that would change, but he's not a dictator yet, so... Yeah. Note how I say yet. I don't know if he's ever going to become one, but maybe. It's hard to predict. Trump is like one bag of unpredictable messes. Oh my. Oh, another somewhat good news from Trump's part. I believe the White House has officially acknowledged that it will respect the One China policy. Thank Christ, the very bedrock and foundation on which U.S.-China relations are based on is not going to be completely eviscerated. Oh my god. If you were paying attention to the news, you would know that Donald Trump implied that the One China policy was on the table for for U.S.-China relations, which is bad. If he actually tried to put the One China policy as like a card to use against China, China would have broken off relations with the U.S. I'm sorry. It just wouldn't have. There's a lot of things that China is not willing to compromise on. The legitimacy of the government of the Communist Party of China is one of those things. The One China policy, in which America recognizes that Taiwan and mainland China are one country, is the we cannot have relations with China and also Taiwan at the same time. China will not allow it. I'm sure that Taiwan would allow it if America wanted to, but China will not allow it. Hold on. Number 3. Yeah, China has a tendency to overreact when it comes to Taiwan. But if the White House is to be believed, which, be skeptical considering the people who are in it right now, but still, if the White House is to be believed, the America will respect the one China policy. Very good. Very, very good. So, what else? Iran had a celebration today on the anniversary, raising of the. Wait, hold on. I'm not surprised. Gabriel says, "I am not surprised. What makes me scared is raising the prices of the fireworks we have now." Well, that's. I think that's a different issue. Prices for stuff. You import your fireworks, yeah. For those of you who are wondering, Gabriel works for a fireworks place. But like, the fireworks that you deal with, you import them, a lot of them, yeah. So there's like a billion different factors that go into determining the price of it. I can't go into all of them because I'm not familiar with the fireworks market at all. You will probably have a better understanding of it than I do. But needless to say, I'm not surprised that it's going up. It might have gone up under Clinton too. You know, there's no way of knowing because there's just so many factors. Anyway, moving on. What was I about to talk about? Oh yeah, Iran and their celebration. So, for anyone who is not familiar with Iranian history, which is probably all of the United States, except for the people who actually studied world history. In 1979, Iran had a revolution in which, the government, the U.S.-backed government of Iran, which was basically a monarchic dictatorship, was toppled by a revolution and replaced with, the current government of Iran. That was explicitly anti-U.S. because, it makes total because, old government was anti-U.S., therefore the new one must be. No, old government was pro-U.S., therefore the new government must be anti-U.S. Cold War politics, people. Anyway, so they just had a revolution. So they just had a celebration for the anniversary of that revolution, which is interesting. Apparently, they've toned down the anti-U.S. parts this celebration. Yeah, they did have a few anti-US stuff going on, but not as much as they usually do, according to the media that's reporting. Which is interesting. To me, that shows that Iran... Because from what I understand, a lot of the celebrations are, like, choreographed by the government. But to me, that just shows that, the Iranian government, even under Trump, wants to seek rapprochement. Will the Ayatollah of Iran agree? I have no fucking idea. The Ayatollah seems to be staunchly anti-US, and I'm not a big fan of that. In any case, negotiations and rapprochement is a good thing. I know there are probably a few people who will vehemently disagree with me on that, especially considering Iran's nuclear program. Which I just want to point out, America helped get started, but no one seems to give a shit about that. So yeah, hopefully Trump won't completely blow it. He might. I hope he doesn't. But he very easily could. So, what else is there in the news? Oh yeah, New Zealand. I think like this is like completely unrelated to politics. So yeah, not politics news. Is it happy news? Not really. It's not happy news. If someone finds a website that is just happy news, like I don't know, happynews.com or something, tell me about it, cause I would very much like to go to that website and just like feel good. There's enough bad news in the world. Anyway, back to the bad news that I was about to talk about, which is completely unrelated to politics. Apparently, 400 whales beached themselves in New Zealand. How the hell 400 whales all did that at the same fucking time? I have no idea, but apparently it happened. I knew that whales occasionally beached themselves, but I've never heard of 400 whales at the same time. 300 of those whales died. Aw. But from what I understand, the New Zealanders are trying to help 100 of the 100 surviving whales back to the ocean so they won't die, which let's pray they're successful. Ooh, what's this? HawaiiNewsNow.com. White House seeks to I just got sent a link from Skype. Let's take a look at this. White House seeks to regroup after stinging legal defeat. Is this the immigration stuff? Yeah. That's what I was talking about at the beginning of this. The White House wants the new immigration order. I will say, as much as I'm not a fan of the order, the way that Trump did it the first time was probably illegal, but, like, if he thinks about what he's trying to do and carries things out differently, it could be different. I don't know. I kind of hope that whatever new order it is, it's not, like the other one. The fuck was I saying? New whale. Oh my god. Let's hope this makes things better and not worse. Crystal Pepsi. Crystal... I'm going to shut up now. Alright. Good news. Positive news. Sunnyskies.com. Ooh. Oh my god, yes, this is the kind of news that I want! After Girl Scouts get standards robbed, police buy all remaining cookies and donate over $1,000. This is the kind of news that I want more of! This is it! You sometimes see this kind of news in Japan, but not really in America. We need more sites like the one you just sent me. Gabriel. We need more of those sites in the world, and we need them to be more popular. Will that actually happen? I have absolutely no idea. Probably not because of media sensationalism and all that. I'm sorry, but the fact of the matter is, the kind of emotions that spreads the so-called bugs are more likely to be negative emotions than positive emotions. And rage especially is one that just spreads like wildfire. CGP Grey did an interesting video on this very topic. I think it's called "This Video Will Make You Angry." No, it won't, but, like, he titled it that way for a reason. Goodnewsnetwork.org. Yes. Okay, so other than the Girl Scout, what else is there? Humorous judge dismisses ridiculous ticket when woman parks 2 seconds early. What idiot police officer thought to charge someone a ticket for just 2 fucking seconds? I don't know, but the judge saw through the idiot, so yeah. Okay, Gabriel, that's enough links. That is enough links. I know I want more of those sites to exist, but like, I have, you've sent me enough links. More than enough links. Way more than enough links. We should like start a movement on Facebook to have, or no, not just on Facebook, in the world, to have good news take over the bad news. What do I mean by that? I want good news to become more common. Maybe not like completely drown out all the bad news, because that's not good. Good news is news. There's good news and there's good news and bad news. It's just I want there needs to be a balance. I was about to try and make a Star Wars reference, and then I realized that no matter how I did it, it would be horrible, so I stopped myself. No, I don't want there to be like, I know some people are probably going to assume, oh my god, you want regulations on the media? No, I want the media to voluntarily report on more good news. Regulations is the cop-out way. I don't want to take the cop-out way. I want the media to, of their own volition, start making more good news. Well, not making more news, good news, but reporting on more good news. Is getting the media to voluntarily do that kind of stuff going to be easy? No. It's going to be hard as fuck. I mean, good news isn't what gets you all the clicks. Good news isn't what spreads your name. Good news isn't what stuff isn't something, well, isn't usually something that goes viral. But in order for it to change, first what we need to do is or at least I believe. I'm just coming up with this off the top of my head. It's not a concrete plan or anything. It's just like ideas that like it comes into my head and it comes out of my mouth with no filter on. Okay, so keep that in mind when I say all of this, including what I just said before about this whole thing. But if we want to actually get the media to report on more good news, we need to be willing to consume more, consume and share more media that is good news. Number 5. The bottom line, these companies are worried about their profit margins. It's the way capitalism works. It has its ups and downs. Now, I will not comment on whether or not the positives outweigh the negatives. I'll leave that to the people who really want to debate that kind of stuff, because I kind of don't care. If you care about that stuff, fine. Just go fight on it. Go fight on it. I don't know if a petition alone will do it, dude. Because we can make a petition, but like, who would we send the petition to? What is a representative of the entire media? What do you want? Who do you want? Who do you want to send it to? I think it should start off with getting more people spreading word about the sites that do deliver good news. Spread word about the sites that deliver good news. Not good news as in like news that is like news about good things. That's what I should say. But again, yeah, the petition thing, I don't see that. I don't see that working. If we want the mainstream media to report on more good things, we need to be able to consume. We need to be willing to consume that media. And if we show them that we are willing to consume that media, they will naturally follow, or at least that's the way I think capitalism works. I could be wrong. But that is just my general idea. It is not concrete. It is not backed up with like empirical scientific research or everything. It's just a hypothesis based off of the knowledge that I have at the moment. Is it true? I have no idea. If someone wants to start it, go ahead. Like, I don't know, start a Facebook group or something, invite everyone you know. You gotta start somewhere if you want to make that a thing. I like it though, the links that you sent me, Gabriel. I like that there are people and places that are actually willing to, report on good news. News about good things. News that makes you feel good and warm and fuzzy on the inside. That's what we need more of. Not all this 10 people died in Syria today, blah blah blah. Okay, fine, you can... That's news. Reporting on people who died in a terrorist attack, that's news. It's good to report on that, but, like, also report on the good stuff. Like, the stuff that makes you feel warm and so fuzzy. Like, I was on Fark a little while ago. No, not a little while ago. Quite a while ago. A long time ago. By modern standards. And it was an article on Fark. Apparently, police were called to some old woman's house after her neighbor called the police because she heard wailing. Turns out the old lady was lonely, so that's why she was crying. So the police was like, you know what? We got some time. Let's just stay here and make this old lady a dinner. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I want... Yes, that. More of that, please. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just tired of all the negativity. I know I talk a lot about negativity, so I am kind of being hypocritical in this, but I'm in one of those phases, where it's like I look at the media and it's just like, shut the fuck up. Oh, we want more good news, and instead of Trump. Reporting on Trump is not a bad thing. 246. Reporting on Trump in and of itself is not a bad thing. What is a bad thing, however, is if that's all you report on. Because Trump is not the only source of news over there. Sure, he might get you a lot of clicks and a lot of views, but there's more to the world than Trump. It's way too easy to just get something that'll be clickbaity. It's way harder to, you know. Report on something that it might not be as clickbaity, but it sends positive vibes, messages, whatever you want to call them. Today is the 10th. Just want to check on something. I think it's actually just pronounced I can, not I can. Let's see. They were going to send a thing on Thunder, whatever, whatchamacallit. Thunderclap! What day were they gonna send out this message? Because I signed up to it. Yes, a message. To send things. Oh, complete. Ends Feb 10th. Oh, so did they send it out on my Facebook feed? They were supposed to. What's this no that you sent me, Gabriel, on Skype? Wishes, fireworks, end at Magic Kingdom May 11th. Hmm. Oh, I really could care less about this. Apparently, Disney... Is that Disneyland or Disney World? Disney World. Apparently replacing one show with something newer. I mean, yeah, to the people who like it, I can see why they might not be happy with it, but... You know, that's how things is. You can't have... If you keep the same thing forever and ever... Things change. Whether that's good or bad is an entirely different discussion for another time, but things change. Oh yes, okay, so the Thunderclap thing was sent on my Facebook feed. Thank you. For those of you who are wondering what it is, I am going to get a link. I'm going to get a link to the post and post it in the chat right about now. This. There's like a weird orange thing there. Ah, yes. So, yes, that was a Facebook post made on my Facebook account by, did I see news bloopers before? I'm gonna answer that question after I finish my sentence. That is the new thing posted on my Facebook from this place called Thunderclap, spreading awareness about a convention, international meeting on the possibility of banning nuclear weapons. I have reservations about the exact way that they're going about this in that one, as I say in the Facebook post, but I feel I should at least spread the awareness of it. Okay, anyway, did I see news bloopers? I've seen some. Not a lot, but I've seen some. You know, I find it interesting that I'm allowed to post links in the YouTube chat thing, but you guys aren't, unless you can't see the link. I can see it perfectly fine. I'm on mine. Anyway, that's just a random thought that went through my head right now. I'm just like blurting stuff that comes to my mind. Because I need to fill an hour's worth of time with some kind of conversation. Which news bloopers are you talking about? Just wondering. Because there's a lot of different kinds of news bloopers that you can choose from. Anyway. What else should I go on? What else is there? Let's see. Oh yeah, some place called Democracy Now, which I will say right now is like part of the super liberal wing of like the liberal movement. I mean, holy shit. I'm liberal leaning. I say liberal leaning, in actuality I'm pretty liberal. Solidly liberal. I just again have reservations about actually calling myself a liberal. But yeah, even I look at Democracy Now and it's like, holy shit, calm down, people. Yeah, I agree some things are bad, but like, calm down, people. They're saying that Trump's, because last week Trump made a bunch of executive orders to combat crime. Or at least that's what he says it's for. It's to combat crime and increase public safety. Never mind that crime has been on the decline for a few decades now, but whatever. They're saying Trump is launching a Blue Lives Matter thing. A Blue Lives Matter regime, as they call it, with those new things. They increase penalties for doing stuff like, going against police officers and all that. Okay, number 2467. I'm gonna say this right now. This opinion probably is not gonna be popular among liberals, but I'll say it anyway. As much as I believe in the Black Lives Matter movement, I also believe that. I also believe in. I don't want to say I believe in the Blue Lives Matter movement, but I also believe that the lives of police matter too. No, this is my view of it. Like, the way I see it, all lives matter. I don't care if you're white, black, Hispanic, whatever, insert color or occupation or religion or race or whatever the hell. Here, all lives matter. That's the way I see it. And if that's the case, then yes, blue lives matter, and also black lives matter. I know this isn't exactly a popular opinion, especially among the hardcore people. I can understand why both sides are angry. I'm one of those people who looks at the situation and I can see, I can see why I can see why African Americans are angry, and I can also see why people on the other side of the camp are angry. I probably just lost a lot of like the hardcore liberal viewers. But that's my opinion. If you don't like that, whatever. If you're gonna unsubscribe to me from that because of my opinion, okay, fine. You shouldn't have been subscribed to me in the first place. Oh god. Oh my god, I sounded like a complete and total douchebag. But anyway, yeah. It's just if you're gonna subscribe to me, I would very much prefer it if you have an open mind. And not one that's just gonna shut down the moment you hear an opinion that doesn't agree with yours. As much as there are some times when I can act pretty closed-minded, but I try to be open-minded. I try to be. I say try rather than am because I'm not always successful. I admit that right now. I'm not always successful at being open-minded. When it comes to certain issues, for example, nuclear weapons, which is the reason why I'm doing this whole stream in the first place, I will just not move. I'll not budge on with my current views. I probably will not budge. But I try to be. Yeah. They couldn't figure out what race you are because you're Asian yet brown as fuck. Oh, Gabriel, you have no idea. You may not have seen my dad, but my dad is like full-on Japanese. And he looks full-on Japanese. You look at him and it's like, oh yeah, he's an Asian. But he went to it wasn't Michigan, it was Tennessee. Some neighborhood in Tennessee to visit my mom's side of the family. And then the people there, I may have told this story before, but anyway, I'll tell it anyway. And then apparently he was walking down the street, and then some racist, was driving by, and then he rolled down the window and screamed, "Go back to Africa, nigger." Like, with the hard ER. Luckily, my dad did not understand the significance of the word nigger, and I'm willing to bet he still doesn't. He's much better at Japanese than he is in English. So my dad was not upset at all, but my mom was standing there like, oh, shit. That just happened. My dad's not even black. Japanese, not black, not from Africa, he's from Asia, East Asia. Nope, doesn't matter. Guy couldn't tell the difference. Not being able to tell the difference isn't necessarily racist, but like, because, you know, if you're gonna say, oh, just because you can't tell the difference between certain races, you're a racist, no, that's stupid. I have trouble discerning between different European ethnicities and the different different Middle Eastern, African, whatever ethnicities. That doesn't make me racist. It's if I, then say, oh, therefore all X people are the same. That's when it starts borderline racist. And then if I add that with a bunch of other stuff that I will not say because it's actually racist, then yeah, it actually becomes racist. In any case, yeah, he couldn't. I'm just glad my dad did not understand the significance of that word. I probably pissed off a lot of people by saying that word in the stream. Even though in context it makes sense, I'm telling the story of something that, according to my mom, actually happened. But no, there are some people who don't give a shit about that kind of stuff. They don't care about context, they don't care about why you're saying it, blah, 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 blah. I could even go on about Ebonics, and Ebonics is like the way African Americans speak, a more linguistic and scientific, a more properly linguistic term is, African American vernacular English, but that's like a mouthful. That's a mouthful. Like, wow, that's hard to say. This side, I guess? But yeah, no, there are people who don't care, and if you say the word, you are racist. Doesn't matter the context, blah, blah, blah. 2, 4, 6, 8. You were called a black and a Mexican, and one person was like, you are half black or half Mexican? Really, Gabriel? Wow. Black has their own thing. It's just Hawaii, like Hawaii with our pigeon. Yeah. The Hawaii pigeon isn't even the only pigeon that's out there. Go to Indonesia, they speak Tok Pisin, which is pigeon. It's their pigeon. It's literally pigeon. It's English. Kind of. Sort of. Not really. You won't understand a single word of Tok Pisin. Unless you, like, actually start to dig into it. There's also many other pigeon languages out there. Pigeons out there. Hell, English isn't even a pigeon. It's a Creole language. Same with Tok Pisin. We just call it pigeons because I don't know why, we just do. Creole languages is what happens when you take a pigeon, when you take a pigeon language, and then the children grow up speaking the pigeon language, and then it becomes like an actual living language. That is what a Creole is. People have anyway, going on that, people have a tendency to like dismiss other ways of talking as like, oh, that's wrong. Like, some people say, oh, the way that black people talk, that's wrong English. No, it's not. It's not wrong English. It's just English. It's a different dialect. That doesn't make it wrong. It's just as regular English. It's just as standardized as regular English. I mean, if you go to China, it'd be like what you're doing there if you say, oh, the way black people talk is wrong. What you're doing there is the same thing as going to China, going to, no, not China, like going to Hong Kong and then saying that the Chinese the people speak there is wrong because it's Cantonese and not Mandarin. By the way, there are actual Chinese politicians who do that. Just saying. Just talking white. Just white talking southern. Yeah, I know the South does have issues, but, like, that doesn't necessarily excuse the North. The North has issues, too. There are reasons the South has been singled out for a lot of this kind of racial stuff, but, like, sometimes I feel like people use that and then they ignore the problems the North has. I don't know. That's just me. I know I'm going to get attacked from people who like believe, oh, there is no race issues in the North, which there is. It's probably just a different kind of race issue. I don't. There's race issues everywhere. It's just different kinds of issues. The race issues that Hawaii has are different from the race issues that the mainland has, and the race issues that the North has are different from the race issues that the South has. The race issues Canada has are different from America's, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I could go on forever. I'm not going to, because I don't want this to last till the end of time. And I know racism is not as prevalent in Hawaii as it is on the mainland, but Hawaii does have its race issues, especially when it comes to Micronesians. They have it out bad for them. Like, it's really bad. Well, for Micronesians, it's really bad. It doesn't help that, like, because, yeah, Japanese, Korean, Filipino, all those races used to be discriminated against in Hawaii, but that's since changed. Because Japan and Korea and China have since developed, or at least China is developing. They're well on their way to being developed, if you ask me, but 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. But with time, those groups were gradually more accepted. it helped that their countries developed. The Philippines is not as developed, but they're doing way better than they once were. I mean, the Philippines today is probably a very different place from the Philippines 50 years ago. I can't say how it will be different because I've never been to the Philippines. All I can say for a fact is that it'd be different, but like I don't know how it'd be different, so I can't say anything. All I can say for sure is that the perception that people in Hawaii have of the Philippines is mostly positive. And because of that perception, the Filipino people were gradually more and more accepted. With Micronesia, with the Micronesians, that hasn't happened yet. Partially because they're a relatively new group. They only very recently started coming to Hawaii in large numbers. But it also doesn't help that their country, in terms of like the development, very slow. Probably because they're islands in the middle of the ocean that don't have much in terms of natural resources. Oh, does that ring a bell? Hawaii? Yes! Yes, they're just like, well, not exactly like Hawaii, but pretty similar. In terms of, the natural resource situation. It doesn't help that, we nuked them many times over. Not as in, like, a nuclear war kind of attack, but nuke as in, we used their land to, we need a place to test our nukes, but we don't know where to do it. Ooh, look at this island look at this island in the middle of the ocean, far away from the mainland United States. Oh, let's use that as our testing field. People live there. I'll just ship them off to another island. They won't be angry later on. Yes, they will. Philippines now is very different from a long time ago. Yeah! Makes sense with time countries change. I mean, Japan is very different from when it was 50 years ago. Every country changes with time. Anyway. Yeah, again, with the Micronesians, the development hasn't happened yet. It doesn't help, though, that, like, the culture of Micronesia is also very different from, like, Japan, or Korea, or the Philippines, or China, or Taiwan, or Singapore, or Malaysia, mainland US, Europe. It's very different. It's, like, much closer to traditional Hawaiian culture than it is Western the cultures of I don't want to say Western because Japan isn't exactly Western, but the cultures of developed nations. Now I'm not gonna say anything about the reason why. Nowadays, if they know you're from the U.S., they will target you. Is that good or is that bad? I mean, it sounds bad, but I don't know what you mean by target. What do you mean by target? Oh god, the delay. They will threaten you bad. Really? Huh. I've heard like the opposite, that people in the Philippines, yeah, there are some anti-US things going on there, but there are a lot of also people who like America. Not that Filipino President Rodrigo Duterte, not that Duterte is a fucking god damn Duterte. They'll steal from you. Well, yeah, well, if you're not careful, people will steal from you no matter where you go. I've heard some Europeans say they're surprised that when Americans go to Europe and they let their guard down and then they get pickpocketed and all that. Europeans seem to think that, oh my god, Americans are stupid if they think you're not gonna get pickpocketed, and then no, it's from it doesn't really happen here. They don't know that, so that's why some Europeans think that. But yeah, and and then I've heard some people. I'm talking. This is mostly from someone from the Netherlands was telling me about this. He was saying that and then The even worse is the Japanese and Chinese. No, not Chinese. Most the Japanese tourists, because they come here, they go to like the Netherlands, and then they think it's gonna be like completely 100% as safe as Japan, and then it's not. Because in Japan, like, yeah, you get pickpocketed. It doesn't happen in Japan. Sure, you do sometimes get people who pickpocket, but most of the time, no. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's, again, this whole thing where you get these different cultures, and when they mix, you get these clashes. That's exactly happening with the Micronesians. It's Micronesian culture, very different. You know, the old traditions is still very much prevalent. Micronesian culture is a lot more similar to traditional Hawaiian culture than it is American or Japanese or more developed cultures. That doesn't necessarily mean the culture is like not as sophisticated. It's just as sophisticated. It's just they have very different ideas and ways of thinking from us. Just going off what my mom tells me is that one major thing that she found out was that there was some she works for a school. I'm not going to name any name for confidentiality reasons. But apparently there was a pair of parents at the school she worked at, and they were they were sending one of their eldest son to the school. But apparently they had another son. The school didn't know about this other son. But in Micronesia, you don't send all your family members to school. You only send some. The ones who are most likely to succeed, because the traditional way of living is still very much alive there. If you wanted to live entirely without using like money, I mean, in some places you could, not all places, but in some places in Micronesia and Melanesia you could. Because the traditional way of living is very much alive in some of those places. And especially when people from those places come to America, it's like a game changer, because over here everything costs money. In some of those places, like, you only need the money for some of the luxuries. You could, if you wanted to live entirely traditionally, in some places you could. Not all places. Again, not all places, but some places. And then when those people come to America, and it's like, okay, you need X amount of money to just be able to own a house. That's a big change. So if they have, you can't blame them for having trouble adjusting. I think if you went there and you'd have trouble wrapping your mind around the way they live. I used to have trouble wrapping my mind around the way they live, and I've just heard of them. If I go there, oh my god, the culture shock! Don't go around thinking that you can just move to those places and be able to like live a happy life or whatever. Because there are very different. It's a very different way of living. If you don't understand it, if you think you can just go there and I'll be able to live with no money, no, you're very wrong. You are very, very wrong. Well, that's how it was when we went to the mainland. Yeah, the culture is so different. In my case, though, when I went to the mainland, everyone was so friendly. I went to Michigan. So I don't know where you guys went, but I went to Michigan to visit my family. I spent most of the time with family. And all the family, they're really nice people. I can't say much about anyone else because I didn't really talk to anyone else. But they were really nice people on the mainland. There's also a lot more black people in Michigan than there are in Hawaii. Which shouldn't be too surprising because it's Michigan, but still. Because you weren't black, white, people were staring at you weirdly because you weren't black, white, or Hispanic. I'd imagine that you wouldn't have gotten any stairs or anything like that. Oh, Georgia, yeah, yeah, you'd get that. It for my thing for my trip, I stopped by California. So it was like I went to stop by California and then went to Michigan on a connecting flight. California has a lot of Asians. I mean, it's not as diverse as Hawaii, but still, there's a huge Asian community there. I'm kind of worried because the cats are both cats are in my room, and both cats are kind of acting wild. Are they going to do anything? I don't know. Okay, so number 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Anal eviscerator. Oh my god, Milk. Oh my god. Also, hello. Glad you could finally join us. So, what else should I talk about? I was just talking about the massive culture difference that there is between the mainland and Hawaii. Holy shit, it's huge. So, I'm gonna try and steer the discussion in a different direction. You wanna name a gun that? No comment! No comment! What's this? Gaza barber wields blowtorch. What? MSN.com. And why does he wield a blowtorch? For what purpose is the blowtorch? Flame to straighten hair. Oh! Interesting. I don't know if I'd ever be willing to do that. Looking at the chat. Just like you want me to name a gun? Just a giant laser gun that melts stuff, and it's called anal eviscerator. Wow, man. Just wow. Wow, the stream's been going on for about an hour and 20 minutes now. The first 10 minutes or so was just the music, so. When I'm silent like this, again wish the stuff from Amazon would arrive already. They took my money! Now they have to deliver it! They said it should be here by next week. I am going to hold them on their word. I'm going to hold them to their word. So, for some of them it said between the 14th and the 20th. And then for the actual origami itself, it says between the 16th and the 22nd is when it will arrive. I'm holding them to it. I will hold that company to their word. And when everything arrives, you will be able to see me folding the origami. And if you are inquisitive, you will be able to learn how to make a crane. I feel like I've gotten a lot better at making cranes since from the start of this. Now 2 people left and stop watching. Aw, man. Who is the one that remains? Say something in the chat. Please? Gabriel. Okay. I don't know how much of these cranes I'm going to fold today. want to fold... I don't know how much I'm going to fold. How much will I fold? Guess I'm just gonna keep going until I don't feel like folding. Speaking of weird gun names, watching someone play a game they named their flamethrower Spicy Dick. What? Hey? Internet! What have you done? Gibbs cat is trying to scratch you. Mika. Okay. And it's a game about a loadout, and you can name your guns. Lol, what? Giant missile launcher. What? What? I am not reading that! I will not read that. I refuse to read that. Has anyone played the new Fire Emblem Heroes? No, but I want to. I want to. I really want to. You should stop watching this video. You're watching but the game gun names are too amazing. Well then. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. How many more am I going to go for? I have no idea. I can't do too much though, because otherwise I'm going to run out of things and then I guess I'll stop at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, I guess. Yeah, I'll stop at this one. You can get characters from the previous games. Ooh, interesting. Fire Emblem is one of those few games that those, you know, the YouTube ads got me into. It was a long time ago, though. I've never played it, but ever since I saw the ads, I've thought I want to try it. I don't know if I'd enjoy it, though. Not because the game itself isn't good. I've heard the game itself is good. It's more, I don't know if the game would be my cup of tea, if you know what I mean. More Lego movies and not a single Bionicle one. Well, I don't think the reboot of Bionicle was as popular as the original one. I need to buy the new Bionicle figures before they fucking sell out. The price, I think, is already going up. I gotta buy it before it gets too high. Sorry if there's not much Bionicle fans here. Also, I need to get that video for the Bionicle video game up. Oh my god, I seriously need to record that. Oh, you stupid piece of shit, PC! No. I'm not actually going to break this. As much as I'm tempted to, because this piece of shit PC is stupid. I need this PC to do all my stuff. I have no other. New Lego movie looks good, though, Ninja. And I used to get Tahu and Umarak the Hunter. Umarok the Hunter? I do not recognize that name. I definitely want Tahu, though. In an ideal world where I have all the money in the world... In an ideal world where I have all the money in the world? No, in an ideal world where I don't have to worry about money, I would just buy all of them. But no, this is not the perfect world. The world ain't perfect. The world is a bitch. The world is a royal bitch. The world? What the hell is a world? Entirely new character, and you sent me a link on Skype. Thank you, Milk. Ah. Interesting. I don't know what to say about the design. I'm not... Not too big of a fan of that particular design. But hey, it works. I think I still have like a box of the original Bionicles, like from the first run. I wonder how much they're worth now. I'm not gonna sell them. I'm gonna fucking keep them. Because they were my childhood toys and they shall always be my childhood toys, and I don't care what anyone says, they are my childhood toys! Somewhere in this mess of a house that I live in, it's here. I don't know where, but somewhere. Okay. And now, hands down, this side is getting folded. Number 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13! And I'm going to call it a day because I can't do this forever. I could go on, but I also don't want to like run out of all the... I don't want to run out of origami today and then go tomorrow have to buy more. Oh, yeah. So, I will call it a day today. I will see you all tomorrow. Please like and share this. Or at least tell people about my channel and what I'm doing. I want people to know what I'm doing. Whether they agree or not, that's up to the person who watches. But I want them to see what I'm doing. And yes, hopefully I will see you soon. I have more stuff to talk to you about, Gabriel. So expect a few text messages from me when I finish this. But yeah, that's after the stream. We'll talk about it after the stream. So yes, please like and share. And if you dislike, okay, you can dislike if you want. You'll only help me. The YouTube counts as interaction. Disliking will help me. So yeah, ha 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 ha, in your face. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.